Our little mantel-less wood stove hearth wasn't working for me. Let's get into it. First, I used a high-temp refractory mortar to try and level out / decrease the grout line some for a more modern, less riverbed aesthetic. You'll see it in coming episodes that this hearth upgrade is just the first of a more integrated, less piecemeal approach to what I'd like to take to our living room. I won't spoil all of it for you though. After the new mortar dried, I taped off the edges before applying a whitewash, well, really more of a cream wash, to the entire surface. I used 1 part paint and 2 parts water. I found a sponge worked best. With that done, it was time for the mantle. I cut 8 pieces of stud 2x4s down to 47.5 inches. Then squared 2 of each of their faces on the jointer. I completed the final squared faces with the table saw as my newly refurbished planer is out of commission with a broken gearbox chain. If it's not one thing, it's something else. With the pieces all square, I used bar clamps to laminate 2 panels of 3 boards each. After the glue cured, I trimmed the edges square. And then used a number 6 Stanley hand plane to clear the squeeze out before sanding down the exterior faces. Then set the miter saw to a 45-degree bevel and added a little design flair to the outer edges of the panels and the single mantle boards. After another quick sand down, it was time to stage the mantle and mark where I'd need to place the countersinks for the screws. Of course, aligning them with the studs in the wall. With the placement sorted, I used a small drill bit to pre-drill and a 5/8 inch Forstner bit to clear space for the screw head and eventual dowel pin. With those done, I added the same whitewash to the bottom of the mantle to make the final finishing a little easier once they were anchored to the wall behind the rock facing. Then stage the mounting screws. And used a level to place the panels. With the panels in place, I covered the screws with dowel pins. To tidy up the seam between the mantle and the stonework, I used spray foam. Then added more refractory mortar on top. While that dried, I cut the dowel pins flush. And mounted the mantelpieces. Then finished whitewashing the rest to include the last bit of mortar. And that's a wrap. I like how the finishes soften the overall look, and the mantle draws the eyeline up to open up the space a little more. More changes to this space coming soon. Until next time.